who said, education is not about filling a bucket, it's about lighting a fire. In 1920, he first published what has probably become his most famous poem called The Second Coming. The opening stanza describes a culture which is spinning out of control. He uses the metaphor of a falcon, which keeps circling further and further from the falconer. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Did you notice where he put the blame for this disaster? The best lack all conviction. He lays the blame at the door of otherwise good people who are lazy and apathetic. That's why he said education is not about filling a bucket, lighting a fire. John Wesley was a powerful preacher. Huge crowds would turn out to hear him speak. Outside, inside, any type of weather, any time of year. A reporter once asked him, "Why do you think so many people come to hear you?" "Well," Wesley said, "I think that when you're on fire, people want to come and see what makes you burn." Consequently, came as quite a shock when his preaching was once interrupted by the sound of snoring. He stopped. He identified the man. He said to the people, Don't be alarmed. In a moment, I'm going to yell as loud as I can and try to wake this man up. Don't be alarmed." Then he proceeded to bang on the pulpit. "Fire, fire, fire, fire!" Instantly, the sleeping man woke up and he yelled out, "Fire! Where? Where's the fire? Where? Where?" Wesley leaned over the pulpit, pointed to the man with an outstretched arm, and he said, "In hell, man, for those who would sleep under the hearing of God's word. What will it take to wake you up?" There's some famous stories of people falling asleep without even knowing about it. Sleeping Beauty, Ada, raising the apple, put her to sleep for 100 years. Rip Van Winkle took a nap and didn't wake up for 20 years, slept right through the Revolutionary War. Are we sleeping through a war? Kirsten, Homer's Odyssey. The story of Odysseus and the lotus eaters. When his men ate the magic fruit, they put them under an evil spell. They became apathetic. They lost their desire to go home. Are we losing our desire to go home? To our true home? When C.S. Lewis became a Christian in midlife, he said he felt like he was, and I quote, waking up after a long sleep. He said the world seemed bigger, the world seemed more precious, the sky seemed bluer, the grass seemed greener, the music of the birds more musical. Later in his life, he said his primary goal now was to stay awake and to help others to do the same. What did he mean by that? He said, and I quote, "To keep alive in myself the desire for my true home in heaven and to help others to do the same." That's what the Chronicles of Narnia are all about. Remember the scene with the evil witch? The Queen of Underland, when she almost puts the children under the spell. She claims that Narnia doesn't really exist. It's just make-believe, an illusion, a dream. It takes a heroic effort by Puddleglum to rescue them. Remember what he says? "Suppose we have only dreamed and made up all those things. Suppose we have. Then all I can say is, in that case, the made-up things seem a good deal more important than the real ones. How is it that 4 ladies playing a game make the play world, which lets your supposed real world hollow? That's why I'm going to stand by what you call the play world." There are many people today who sound a lot like that witch, like Richard Dawkins. He says that people who believe in heaven are ignorant, stupid, wicked, or insane. We're surrounded by and engaged in a cosmic spiritual war between good and evil. As Lewis said, there's no neutral ground. As John Eldridge said in his book, Waking the Dead, things are not what they seem. This is a world at war, and each of us has a crucial role to play. Like the hobbits in the Lord of the Rings, like the Pevensey children and a courageous little mouse in the Chronicles of Narnia, like a young boy with a slingshot in the Old Testament, like a red-tagged bunch of mostly uneducated disciples in the New Testament. In 1990, there was a movie about sleeping sickness. I wonder if any of you saw it. It starred Robin Williams and Robert De Niro. It was called Awakenings, and it was based upon a true story about a doctor in the Bronx. He worked with catatonic patients in the mental hospital in the 60s. All of them seemed to be asleep even when they were awake. They acted like they were zoned out emotionally and intellectually detached and spiritually disconnected. For a while it looked like he found a cure. A high enough dose of a certain drug would awaken his patients from their long sleep. The main character, played by De Niro, awakens, a middle-aged man, after having been mentally asleep for about 20 years. When he awakens, he demonstrates the joy and the wonder of a young child. Everything is a surprise. Everything is a gift. Everything is appreciated. Through his eyes, we're given an opportunity to rediscover something that God's given to all of us, the wonder of the world. Isn't it a wonder that we don't wonder more about the wonder of the world? The answer is yes. The truth is, we're a lot like Leonard, aren't we? Much of our life is spent in a sleep-like state, zoned out and out of touch with the wonder, the giver, the creator, the redeemer. Like Leonard, we're helpless to wake ourselves if somebody else doesn't do it. We're in trouble. But there is someone who calls to those who are sleeping, someone who calls to those who are spiritually dead. Truly, I say to you, the hour is coming, and now is when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who hear will live. John 5:25. Awake, O sleeper, arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light. Ephesians 5:14. These promises are so good, so powerful, so relevant, so encouraging. Somebody ought to put them in